Good morning, traders. Happy Monday. Hope you're all doing well. Just noticing, well, I was looking for a setup one sell initially when I looked at the charts. So let's have a look. Yes. Right. Already we've had a little kind of pullback and a little kind of trend line break. Now, if you look on Bookmap, there's a ton of liquidity above, like a ton. So I'll just show you that. See, so we can trade up into this. Just following setup 2, and a bit of setup 4, I guess, as well. But trading into liquidity. So I notice here a minor absorption. Yeah, looks like a good buy spot to me, especially considering the timing. We've taken a little trend line liquidity already, which is one of the necessary conditions for setup 2. You want to see some kind of liquidity grab, whether it be a trend line or whatever. But you want to see the market collecting liquidity, and then when you see a signal to buy on footprint, you just go for it. So I saw a minor absorption here. What's this candle? That flip positive on the delta. And now we're just kind of being held down by this high volume node. So if we break that, I'd say that's good enough for a buy. This is for demonstration purposes, so this will be not live. Do I have a demo account connected? Let's see. ATSM. So what's setup 2 all about? Well, it's a continuation strategy. So you have a kind of setup 1 already in progress, and we're clearly going to trade up above this swing high. So it's about finding obvious trades that are in continuation of the trend that's in progress on the lower time frame. Okay, so we'll just wait for some kind of structure on footprint. It may have a little bit more down to do. I'm noticing it's 6:30. Maybe at 7 o'clock it'll occur or something. So just gonna wait. So I'll go on mute while we're waiting, because at the moment we don't have a signal. Okay, so sit tight. This is like a high volume node that we need to break first. So I'm watching how we respect these 2 high volume nodes. So usually I want to see some kind of absorption and then a break above candle POC, whether that be on M5 or M3. So at the moment it looks like it still want to move down a little bit. That's fine, just wait. You can also stick the VWAP bands on, might help. Uh, so yeah, also we got a busy week ahead, just in general. Let's check the Forex Factory calendar. I'm expecting this buy at like 7 a.m. kind of thing. Alright. What have we got? Monday. It's all in Japan. So, got a monetary policy statement. I don't know if that's, I guess, tentative, so we'll need to figure when that is, because that could cause quite a bit of a volatility, even though I don't really trade Japanese markets. Apart from that, pretty quiet. Yellow folder. BOJ is the main thing today. Tuesday, more BOJ stuff. Canada, 8:30 in the morning. That can cause some volatility, even in US markets, even though Canada is quite a small economy relatively. But the big build up is to first GBP CPI on Wednesday and then FOMC on Wednesday too. So we may see some kind of liquidity gathering or consolidation kind of behavior. I'll try and explain what that means as we go along, but at the moment I'm just kind of watching for this buy. And at the moment we're just kind of stuck between two high volume nodes, so what I want to see is some kind of like CVD divergence. That'd be great, if we move down a bit more, but CVD was starting to trend higher. So this is for setup 2, which is just continuations, which you're gonna experience a lot. What I like to see as a prerequisite is some kind of like liquidity taken, whether it be from an unfinished auction or setup 2. Usually I look for trend line breaks like this, because false breakouts are rife. They happen all the time. And at the moment I'm just seeing there's a little bit of a kind of poor low there, or a weak low. So not quite ready, I believe. See, just kind of weak low. So, just as important, we're gonna have to work out what today's song of the day is. So if you have any suggestions, go into the music section. Some good stuff here. Gene Vincent, Buddy Holly. Boy, I'm really showing my age, eh? Carl Perkins. Yes, I'm good. Come on, join in the discussion. Let me know what your music taste is. Don't be embarrassed. It can't be more embarrassing than my music taste. Just a quick reminder why we're buying. You've got to have a look at not just implied liquidity, i.e., above this swing high, but real liquidity. You see, is all above price. Okay, so we want to buy into that. You know, a lot of people will see that as a sell. A lot of sellers, and that we're resisting off it. But you kind of need to see through that we're probably going to trade into it. So I would say a break of this high volume node. I would consider adding one contract. Let's say we'll add 3 contracts total for this. Buy. Okay. This is quite a weak low, so gotta be careful. I find if you scale in, you know, if you trade micros, you know, start small.
Order filled. Order placed. Order cancelled.
So let's target 5205. Looks all right.
Order cancelled.
So why enter? Well, we broke a high volume node, and we have a bullish bias. Now, what I'd love to see is some imbalances form, like the bull move really pick up some steam. Or the other thing that might happen is that we do a liquidity grab below the weak low. So at the moment it's just a 1-to-1 kind of thing, or 1 to 1.2. So you'd consider that in your risk management. How much do you risk per trade with a prop firm? It's a good question. You know, during the evaluation, I always crank up the risk quite high. And then once you pass and you've got your PA account, you dial it right back, like a quarter of what you were trading. So although price is moving up, I'm not going to rush in to add more contracts. So let's keep it light for now. We'll wait until we have more of a kind of confirmatory signal on CVD or a pullback into an imbalance, that kind of thing. Well, let's say we saw a big liquidity grab down and a kind of big absorption. That would be perfect. That would be my ideal. But also ideal would be just creating a large bullish move and an imbalance to pull back into. So the moment ETH, I've got it set to auto on tick level. You don't need to compress it really. We'll just clone this chart for NQ as well, just so we can have a dual view. If you're trading ES, you should always be looking at NQ and vice versa. Just have some kind of correlated asset that you look at. I see we've broken this stacked imbalance and we're starting to base on top of it on NQ. So that's quite bullish to me. NQ, we can see there's liquidity at 18,200. So this fits in. Everything fits in. Notice that's a bearish imbalance in a bullish candle. It's quite interesting. You don't see that very often. Does it still count as a place you can trade off of? Yes, but we have a negative delta still. What you don't want to see is a positive delta if you were going to add on contracts. It looks like we're going to do a liquidity grab below the weak low that we've made, which is fine. Super slow, but whatever. What expect of something like this? So last week's opens at 5195 SWAT 50. Is that right? Yeah. Last week's open. So that might be a good level to. I think we might trade down into there, absorb, and then go up. So let's talk again about setup 2. It's a continuation pattern. You want to have seen a setup 1 form at some point first, which I'm sure it did down here somewhere. You know, I moved below a swing low, contact of a weekly VPOC, up, continuation, break of a trend line, now a break of a poor low probably, and then up into the liquidity. That's setup 2. Any of that doesn't make sense, just let me know. Because I've been ingratiated in markets for a long time, I can slip into like market speak, and I need to be aware of my audience. Not everybody is like been working in markets their whole life, so please do let me know if none of this makes sense. This is perfect. It's what we want to see. Some kind of liquidity grab below the week low. Contact last week's open. Then a buy. What I would do is add most of my contracts down here. So Bookmap doesn't tell you everything. I mean, I don't see a lot of limit orders here, for example. I see some. It's not huge. But I can see one buyer kind of just getting involved. That is absorption. The spike in volume. But we haven't really moved.
Order fill. Order cancelled.
See just a little spike below the week low. Now we're flying.
Order cancelled. Order placed.
Now looks like a bit more of a 1 to 2. RR. Positive delta. Let's look for positive delta in this candle too. We may yet do a deeper liquidity grab. I don't think so because it's now 7 o'clock, which is good for a move. So my expectation is that buys will commence quite soon. So all I see in Bookmap is aggressive buying. I see a bit of demand created here. We still didn't contact last week's open. So that gives me pause. I'm not going to add every single contract until I see that. Doesn't have to do that. It's just a level of interest. What we can do is see a lot of people trade this kind of pattern, weak low liquidity grab. What we can do is like another liquidity grab, just because a lot of people think the same. It may or may not happen. At 7 o'clock, this is when a lot of traders are getting to their desk, even in London. Okay, officially this is the Frankfurt session, but this is when London traders get active too. I just know that from my friend in ABN AMRO, used to be a trader in London. NQ looks like it's already done the delta divergence. So yeah, we kind of made another low here, and CVD is now trending up. So this adds confidence to ES. Okay. And what about the dollar? We haven't even looked at that. Well, we did open with a big gap, so let's just look at that in a bit of detail. It looks like we're filling more of the single print first. Maybe take this low. So that's good for the bulls on ES. You know, okay, confirmation bias, whatever. But I think we will trade up into this gap later on. Notice my weekend forecast that we would trade down to here. I didn't expect the gap, frankly, but whatever. So when you see these breakouts, the trend lines, it kind of gives you an easy visual cue to say, okay, this might be a liquidity gathering event. What's happening right now? So keep an eye on the order flow when you see these price action cues. That's CUE, not pool cues. As if that wasn't obvious. So another liquidity grab down to last week's open. No big deal as long as it doesn't hit my stop. There's actually a demand level here. It looks like it's going to get filled. By demand, I mean Bookmap demand. So if one was trading buys on NQ, you would look for a positive test of this HVN, positive delta test. So that actually looks quite good for a buy, unless it does a liquidity grab below this poor low, weak low, which it looks like it might. Okay, good. You know, I'm in drawdown, good. That means we're contacting last week's open. Whenever you encounter a problem in life or in trading, you should say good. Good. This gives you an opportunity to learn and become better. That's last week's open, just about contacted.
Order fill. Order cancelled. Order cancelled.
Okay. Bit of absorption there. Contact last week's low. Last week's open, sorry. Perfect. I think we're ready.
Order cancelled.
Okay, I'll stick that there as a timestamp, 7:12 a.m. No, it's CVD divergence already. Let's move our stop slightly.
Order cancelled. Order placed.
So what's today's song? Song of the day. Can we do Simple Minds again? Don't know, didn't we do that the other day? I like Scottish bands. Let's do Jesus and Mary Chain, another great Scottish band. Right, enough of that. Okay, we'll stick that on today's morning song. Jesus and Mary Chain, Head On. If you haven't heard of that band, definitely check them out. They're awesome. So, when did I start entering? Probably around here, then here, then here. Was that too early? Arguably. We'll see. We never know what the right side is going to do with the chart. We know what the left side has done. The right side is what we have to glean from all the evidence that we've gathered. starting to get nervous. Especially because I announced buys on ES are ready now. I think we need to allow
Order cancelled.
a bit of room. I know it's bad practice, but it's always in drawdown when you start to think you might be wrong, you know? Funny how that works. So we're just resting on last week's open now. Good to take note of all these opens and closes and stuff, because that's a potential trading level. Last week's open tends to be respected. I'm fairly confident in it, even though we're in drawdown. I did move my stop a little bit just in case we do have some kind of more extreme liquidity grab. They're trying to make the market look like the market's selling off already. What I'll do after this video is remux, trim, upload Sunday's planning videos, just so you can see how we plan. And for me, it's about looking for confluence levels and market logic, correlations. Well, you know my process. It's on my website. All this stuff. Discretionary, systematic. Is that an oxymoron? Maybe. Here's a signal for you. Okay. Buys are ready. I'm in the buy. 7. Okay, even though this is a demo trade, I'm also trading it on my personal CFD account. I've also announced it live. Buys are ready. I'm in the buy. So, nowhere to hide. This is how you know if a trader is for real or not. Can they make live calls on the market consistently, day by day? It's the only way you can tell if someone's genuine. Not can they make one good call in a week or two, and then 8 garbage calls. That's not good. See where we returned here. Kind of a confluence of VWAP, first deviation, and last week's open. I believe last week's open is the more kind of prescient level here. The market loves highs, lows, opens, closes. Just label that. Can we label it? Yeah.
Order cancelled. Order placed.
You can see where my stop, my target is. So this is all live. If I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. NQ, nice positive delta. Buyers are trying. Talking about cable and Bloomberg. They love Bloomberg. Love talking about base cases, bifurcation, dot plot. It's all the same language all the time. It's kind of funny. Bifurcation, soft landing, hard landing. They really talk a lot of shit on this channel. Really, I don't know why I listen to it. It's kind of like your friend who just talks and talks and talks, does not know when to pause or let other people talk. You just talk shit, constantly. That's what the Bloomberg channel's like. This is the liquidity that we're targeting. We want to trade into this. Okay, we don't trade away from it, we trade into it. Why is that? Because the market trades into volume. Here we're going down on the dollar, that's fine. Notice we're kind of diverging a bit. It looks like just another liquidity grab, so
Order cancelled. Order placed.
sorry about that, but stop moves again. Okay, this is actually a good sign, believe it or not. But we do have to keep our stop a little bit.
Order cancelled. Order placed. Order cancelled.
Okay, this is a classic liquidity grab. This is actually a good sign.
Order filled. Order placed.
Just a liquidity grab. Now you can see breaking this first stacked imbalance, that's a good bullish sign. So I added. Okay, well, notice this move below a weak low, another move down, and then a third move down. It's all just liquidity gathering. Okay, so you had early buyers, people like me, who see this, get excited, stops them out, stops them out. So we do have to kind of be aware of this kind of behavior, and it requires some confidence. Okay, because we're buying as price goes down. That confidence just comes with time. Okay, so I may still be wrong, but in my head, it's quite a safe buy. The order flow seems to back that up to me. Now, see this kind of candle? That is really what you want to see for a liquidity grab before buying. I probably should have waited for that. I mean, see adding buys in this kind of area. This is like a bad habit I need to get out of. I need to learn to be patient. It's hard to say if it's FOMO or you know. It's just another thing to kind of note in my journal.
Order cancelled. Order placed.
We kind of need to break above this stacked imbalance now. If we don't break that, then that would be quite worrying. We just need a bit of bull power. You know, we could test, you know, this kind of thing. See a bit of delta divergence here. Down close candle, positive delta. The book is kind of flipped positive, which is good. We call that a delta flip when the delta moves from kind of negative to positive. It's a good sign.
Order cancelled. Order placed.
So you see, we didn't really need to move the stop, but it was just a precautionary measure. As you know, moving stops in general, outside of your risk parameters, generally not a good idea. A couple of ticks is okay, but you don't want to be like, say price kept just moving down, down, down. You don't want to just be moving your stop in line with that. It's if you see, okay, we were kind of expected this liquidity grab. We got positive signs that we're moving above it, breaking stacked imbalances. Now that's going to base above that, so we're all good.